Work session is now underway. First project, 115 Orchard Avenue, detached garage. And knowing that we will not be voting on this tonight, this will be tabled until zoning approval. But we can discuss any architectural aspects. So with that, comments from the board?
Just comments on the windows. We have three sides of the building that have no architectural features.
Yeah, the front elevation looks quite nice, but that level of detailing needs not to be just isolated to one elevation. Obviously, they don't have to go crazy on the other three elevations, but there needs to be something there besides just a lot of blank siding.
Southwest, north, all.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming with all the photos we got, they're gonna do a lot of attention to the front elevation.
That's what I.
Oh, sorry. Based on all the photos we got, there's gonna be a lot of attention to the front elevation, so let's, carry that around. I thought the massing for the footprint was rather tall.
That's a part of the zoning.
That is.
It's being reviewed.
Okay.
All right, anything else? I think I had a couple other notes. I was wondering about the soffit detailing. Just seemed like I wasn't sure if seemed like one side was bigger than the other. I wasn't sure the scale of the pork chops or whatever.
Yeah.
I just had a question about it.
It's a bigger pork.
And then in a similar way, considering the windows or horizontal trim or combination of both. Okay. We can move on to 204 Park Road. Any comments from the board?
No comments.
I think it looks fine. I just have a quick question about whether or not they considered putting grills on the new side windows because there's grills on the rest of the house. I think the rest of it, the massing and the style is very nice.
Anything else? All right, so we can discuss that as a public hearing as well. Next, we have 16 Hamel Avenue, and I think Tracy is recusing herself. All right, comments from the board?
Yeah, I get why that front window is being replaced for egress means, but just wondered if they could somehow keep that character of that. I don't know if it's arched or peaked top window. Just it's a lot of character on the front elevation. Just replacing it with a double hung window seems unfun.
Yeah, that is a beautiful window. I have a suggestion that, maybe reutilize it somewhere in the project. The addition is a feature window someplace. That could be quite cool. And at least it wouldn't be entirely lost to the house because it is really nice. And then my only other comment is about enclosing the area under the new deck.
Okay. I think I had a comment just to confirm the finish on the concrete. On the side elevations. Similar to you, Carol, about the deck underneath. All right, Jason or David, anything else? Good. All right, we'll have Tracy come back. All right, next we have 118 West Jackson Road, two-story rear addition. We do have additional drawings that have the missing elevation
Yeah, they also have some changes.
and some changes. Okay.
I think the roof line on the revised drawings is an improvement from what they had before.
Mhm.
I was curious about they do have trim around the windows. That was an old comment I had.
On the added double hung windows on the second floor, I'd rather see just a single hung window, but if they do the double hung, put a nice sized
Small, right?
mutton what do you call that? A mutton or a mull,
Small.
More.
a post between them.
Yeah, for me, I thought the three punched windows on the rear filled up the space a little bit better. And I also preferred the gable on the rear elevation rather than just the flat roof. And when we look at the side elevations, right now, where the old original gable was is dashed in. But if mentally I remove that dash and we just have nothing but siding, all of a sudden the fenestration on that side the sides looks very haphazard because we no longer have that expressed downward portion of the gable. That coupled with the unusually large windows, the double windows that kind of dominate that elevation. And then the area of blank siding, it just, the rhythm is, I think, really unsightly. If we take away that, the dashed portions that are to be removed, I just, yeah, that needs to be rethought. I mean, there's a similar configuration on a house on Big Bend. And they left that original portion of roof. So you see the expression of where that gable was. It fills up some of the blank siding and relieves some of the awkwardness.
Yeah, this, the large window and then left elevation, very few windows, and then the lack of just detailing the roof lines in general. It doesn't really fit, but the scale of the windows is big, and then there's large window, and then there's large areas of blank siding.
Yeah, I agree. It just, those side elevations are not working. Yeah.
And then I'm not sure what there's a zoning review on the roof slope, but I mean, it's a flat roof. It's quarter inch and a foot, which is not something that is typically done, you know, especially
Yeah,
on
membrane.
shingles.
Yeah, it'd have to be a membrane roof.
Mhm.
And also on the left side elevation, on the right side elevation, there's a fascia, but then for some reason there's a gutter
Yeah,
that's horizontal on the left side. I don't know what's going on there.
yeah, I don't know. That's good.
Or it's a flat face. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you look closely, it's a 1 1/4 inch per slope pitched gabled roof.
But the gutter is what?
Well, there's, this right here is actually a gabled roof, but it's 1/4 inch per foot.
Oh, I was reading that on the higher.
Mhm.
Oh,
Remains even flatter, but yeah, because the siding hatch tapers at both ends, so it's
Oh,
a,
yeah, you're right.
yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
I just like how they extended the roof on the front, because I felt like the old elevation with that gable kind of behind the house wasn't really working. So I like the front elevation better on this revised design, but looks like maybe the sides and rear still need some attention.
Oh,
Like before they had that little triangle that peeked out. Yeah, that I feel like.
this guy projects, so it would make sense to have it. It doesn't make sense, but the reason they did that was because it pitches and it pitches. That's why I'm not using my words right, but I got it.
Mhm.
Most of it, in general, maybe even making it taller such that the additional story is not requires a low slope flat roof.
I almost wonder if since you do have the
Reverse it. Pull a peak out towards the rear elevation, so that, again. That flat roof.
yeah. Or I'm seeing that there's a 3 foot projection on one side of the addition, which almost makes this whole addition its own volume. Or you could do the roof entirely different just on that volume.
Yeah.
And you're right, make it taller, yeah, that makes sense, yeah. More oversing for the golf too. Higher ceiling.
Right. Yeah.
Right. We will discuss 118 West Jackson. That's one is preliminary. This one is also being tabled on any vote due to subject that's hasn't been reviewed by zoning yet. However, we can make comments. So, any comments?
I think initially I did find the FAR numbers on it, which are within the limits of the, it's 23%. But the massing seems so large compared to and I don't know if that's part of the zoning, if you can, I don't know the zoning rules, like even if you're within FAR, can you compare to the other homes that are just smaller? I don't know. Anyway,
I think that is under our purview, but.
it's not our purview, but it's something that, yeah.
I think it is, like scale and context of the neighborhood,
Okay.
but.
But I don't know if
being
there's
able
any,
to say, okay, yes, you're meeting the letter of the code, it's kind of hard to, it's a
Right.
hard argument to.
I don't know if this is for us or for zoning, but the 2-car garage that's sort of towards the front. Just looks like it would be quite difficult to maneuver into.
There's the zoning issue is about the front facing garage, there's a context requirement in the code about other front facing garages. In the neighborhood, it has to be 40% or more of the existing houses. Though I had a number of questions about this. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, happy to have you make some additional comments. The only thing that kind of caught my eye right away was drawing 1, the side elevation A300 just seems like it's has very few windows and not much. Maybe a little bit more detail in the gable of the roof would be nice as well. Those are my only 2.
Yeah, I was just wondering, maybe there's some things here that are just like drafting attention that needs to be done. When I'm looking at the front elevation, it looks like that column to the right of the front door is out of place. When we have some real distinct symmetry with that front facing reverse gable on the the porch and a really nice, what looks like it's intended to be symmetry on the front door, but maybe it's just a drafting anomaly that that column is off. And just having the trim be a little more consistent. There's nice trim around the windows, but there's none on the front door. So again, I don't know if these are just drafting items that didn't get picked up or what the situation is there. And then the roof returns are not consistent. We have that very tall front-facing gable at the side opening garage, and it doesn't have the same returns as the rest of the front. And then, we have the same thing as we're going around the sides and the rear. It looks unbalanced to have that, especially on the side, to have that sort of specialized return around the front corner, but then not around the back. So once again, I don't know if those are just drafting items that need to be picked up or just a little more, attention needs to be paid to the consistency of those details. And then these very blank side elevations are not appropriate in any context really, and especially not in the context of this neighborhood of older homes where there is a higher level, the more consistent level of detailing, and the massing elements are generally smaller. So there needs to be something done on those side elevations, like some horizontal trim boards, additional windows. And just when you're looking at the inside, it looks like it would be really nice to add some side windows into the master bedroom and maybe into another one in the master bath, and then add some side windows on bedroom 1 and 2. As those are really nice, large bedrooms to only have windows facing in one direction. So, I think this has the potential to be really, really nice. It just needs some refinement. And then on the rear elevation, the roof slope, that hip over the sunroom, I'm wondering why that's so low. It seems to me that if they were to pop up that hip, it would help fill up that upper level and would have a more consistent look with the rest of the house. And then once again, the trim consistency, it looks like there's no trim on some of the windows, but there is around others on the rear elevation, that is. And then there's not really trim around the doors. So once again, that might be just a lot of drafting housekeeping, but in order to be clear about what we're reviewing, I think all of that needs to be picked up. And then I was also wondering too why they chose not to construct chimney chases.
I noticed a mix of grill patterns on the front windows. Was curious if there was a rhyme or reason to that. And then I noticed the column in the rear patio is right in front of a window in the sunroom. And it might be nice to either get rid of that window or rearrange that, how that's working back there. So when you're in the sunroom, you're not looking directly out at the column.
Yeah. Or is a column even needed there?
Which one?
Or is a column even needed there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't sure about the height. It just seems very tall, and I don't know if that attic is going to be occupiable, or if they could maybe go with a shallower roof slope so
Yeah.
that could bring the massing down.
I had similar comment on the main roof as well. Was about the pitch and bringing the scale down.
To the To the front facing garage question from earlier, the garage does face the front of the street, but I thought it was the doors themselves, or is it just the entire garage mass?
There is a garage facing the street.
Yeah, it's
The
just,
thing
it's
is-
not shown on all of the drawings, but if you look at the hard line,
Yeah.
there is a front one,
Oh, this one.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of the primary one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Well, good.
Mhm.
All right, with that, we will take a break on the work session and the official meeting will begin at 5:30. So if you're on Zoom, just hang on and we'll be back. Thank you. So the official meeting is now underway. I would like to introduce Tacoa Bell and Jim Bailey with the city. We have Jamie Hassmeyer, who's our council liaison with us today in person. Carol Dunkey and Tracy Collins, Jason Smith, and David Yates and myself, Bob Buckman, all volunteer architects on the board. First item of business would be review of meeting minutes, typically from December 4th. We also have one from the 20th. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I recalled as well. So let's start with November 20th, I believe. 4 of us. 5 of us. We're all here. So with that, do I have a motion?
Anybody have any comments on it? Good to go? Okay. I'll move to approve the meeting minutes from November 20th as written.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. All right. Meeting minutes approved as written. Next would be the December 4th. And I believe, Jason, were you here for that one?
I was unable to attend.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I thought.
Correction.
So we need to correct that.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from December 4th with the correction that Jason Smith was not in attendance.
Second?
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting minutes for December 4th, approved as noted. At this point, we'll go through the project list. If we read your name, you're here in person, we'll ask you to come up and introduce yourself at the microphone and we'll discuss your project. If you're on Zoom, to raise your Zoom hand and Tacoa will add you and we'll discuss your project that way. First projects are public hearings, so we'll start with 115 Orchard Avenue. Anyone here for that project? Welcome.
Hi, Michael Buckeye.
Hello.
Hi.
All right, so we are going to hold any voting on this. We'll table this tonight, but we'll make comments. But we're going to table any votes tonight because we're pending zoning approval on this project yet. So I just want to let you know that. And so with that, there's a few comments, I think, questions from the board.
You know, I got pre-approval with the zoning prior to even starting this from Priyashan, I believe her name is. So she gave me prior zoning already, approval, so.
There's concern that it may be larger than allowed in the zoning ordinance. And apologies for any confusion, but we want to double check.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. There are a few comments and questions, so we can go ahead.
I just had a note on the, I thought it would be nice if we could add some windows to the building. Right now you have 3 sides with no architectural element. It's just siding with no openings. And I think it would be beneficial both for the interior space and exterior to add some windows if you can.
Okay.
I think the detailing on the front is very nice. I agree with Tracy's comment about the large expanses of blank siding need to be broken up with some windows and perhaps other architectural elements like trim boards or something to avoid the long blank expanses of siding facing neighboring properties.
That's the architectural. I think there were a couple things I had noted too, in addition. Just on the soffit detailing, it was a little bit, it seemed to be at different scales. I wasn't sure what the actual detail was gonna be. I was looking at the original, the house that's next to it, and wondering, if there's, might be a soffit in condition that would match the house.
Yeah, matching existing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and so, it's currently not drawn that way, but I want to clarify how you wanted to do it. But I think if you try to match the existing house, that would be
Yeah.
a nice way to tie them together architecturally. Adding some windows to the sides, or some detailing, I think. And then if you were also to look at the window trim on the house or the scale of the existing house trim, maybe matching those as just a thought, as a
Yeah.
question,
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah, I took pictures of all what I took pictures of the existing house, what is gonna be matched on the garage.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of stuff that would be, I think it seems like it's almost there, on the front, just some, cleaning that up a bit on the
Mhm.
drawings, just so we know. And then, carrying some of that to the side
Mhm.
and, rear.
Okay.
And are those car lifts in the garage? Is that why the overall height of the garage is really tall? Okay.
Yes.
I was like, that's a really tall garage, but that
Yeah,
makes
you
sense.
gotta have the height. Double.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Got it.
Makes sense. Any additional comments from the board? Any questions for us?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So you guys are gonna vote tonight? No, you're not gonna vote at all?
No, so I think for tonight, we're going to table this. I think for you, I would say some of the revisions that we have discussed, if you want to meet with your design team and make those changes.
All right.
Once the zoning is officially checked and approved, if you would resubmit the drawings with any of those revisions at that time, I think would
Okay.
be, the best way forward.
And there's no way I can get a vote tonight, even though she gave me pre-approval on the zoning and everything. And
Right.
I mean,
So, yeah, I think with the requested changes, I think we would want to see those anyway. So.
okay, so I have to put windows on the side of the garage?
So basically, you're asking, we're reviewing your project and these are, you've heard from all five of us, suggestions of what we think might need to be done to the drawings and the design.
Okay.
And, I think that's a question, to you. I don't know how exactly, if you want to add some of that detail, I don't know how it's going to work out.
Right,
You've got to think through that with your,
right. Got it.
yourself and your design team.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. All right, next we have oh, I'm sorry. It is a public hearing and we're still looking for comments from the public. Sorry. Even though we're not voting.
I don't believe that was the intent for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. It is a public hearing, so we are going to ask for comment at this point in time from anyone that's present that's not the owner. Okay. Sure, come on up.
I understand that I have very limited, if any, influence whatsoever, but I had attended the ones during the summer. And in speaking to John, we're going to be neighbors. I have no intent in making an enemy, and likewise, he sees the same of me. And I would have preferred it had it remained in its original configuration so that I wouldn't have had cars in my direct view. But I also understand that I'm not the owner. You are adding some things that I will appreciate. I can't, I'm kind of Don Quixote. So what else could I say? It will change things for me dramatically, but that just is what it is. So accept it and make the best of it. So any thoughts, any questions for me or?
I mean, this is a public hearing, and the reason we have a public hearing is because it is a historic district. So neighbors and members of the public are encouraged to make comments that you have about the proposed project. So.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I keep saying just 90 degrees, but it can't be.
Anyone else? Anyone on Zoom? All right. So with that, we are going to table 115 Orchard Avenue. All right. On to the next project. 204 Park Road, also public hearing. Anyone present for?
I have one person on Zoom.
All right. Good evening, Chris. You're on mute.
Oh, now I'm not on mute. Can you hear me now?
Oh, Chris,
Hello?
There he is.
we can hear you.
Okay, good.
I was gonna say, I think Carol just had a question for you on your project.
Mhm.
I think it looks very nice. Just a quick question. The rest of the house has windows with grills. Did you consider using grills on the new side windows?
Well, we thought about it, but they were kind of smaller windows because they wanted a maximum amount of cabinetry. So we just thought it would be a little too fussy to add grills and just have them plain casement windows. So,
Yeah, it just didn't seem to me that those windows were that much smaller than the rest of the windows on the house. Let me just double check the drawings. I'm going to crinkle papers in your excuse me, just a second.
yeah, they're a little narrower.
When I'm looking at the front elevation, you do have the existing windows on the front.
Right, to match the
Have
front door.
the structural moles, it looks like, in between. And those windows are widthwise about the same proportion as the new ones you have on the side.
Well, initially we had the diamond pattern, and for cost savings, the owner said, let's just do it in the front to match the front door and keep it plain on the sides. But
Okay.
that was the thought there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very nicely done project. That was just a minor element.
Okay,
So thanks for talking through that.
sure.
Chris, any concern that when you're in the butler's pantry itself and you see the diamond mullions to the muttons to the left, but then the window in front of you has no pattern? Would that be something the owner would consider keeping it the same from the inside as well as the outside?
Well, like I said, they did want diamond patterns, but then the cost came in. It's like, okay, I'll just do it on the front. So I think just having no pattern would be better than doing a different pattern with a grill and then the diamond.
Right.
this is just a suggestion. We could maybe read it into the motion for a grill pattern to be added to the side windows as an option. So if some point in the future, as your project was going on, if you wanted to add those, you could without coming back to us, but it's not required.
Okay.
Seem reasonable?
Works for me.
All right, sounds good. With that, is there any other one present that wants to make a comment on 204 Park Road? See nobody. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 204 Park Road with the understanding that the owners have the option to add diamond-shaped grills to the new side windows.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, you're approved as noted. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
All right, next we have 16 Hamel Avenue. Anyone present for 16 Hamel?
I have two people on Zoom.
Hello. Hi,
Hello?
this is Raymond and Michael.
Yes.
Hi, welcome, Ray, Michael.
Hi.
All right, I think there were a few questions. I could start with Jason. Do you have any comments? I didn't have comments on this. Okay. And then David?
Yeah. Hi all. The front window that's being removed and replaced, it has a lot of character to it. And I get that you're trying to get egress from the bedroom upstairs with a casement, but wondered if you would consider the configuration of the window to try to keep that arch top detailing somehow. Or a suggestion from another one on the committee, if you heard earlier, was to maybe repurpose that window elsewhere in the project. It's got a lot of character to it. It'd be a shame to lose that.
Is there? Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Oh, I ain't got nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we can maybe look into it. Do you think there's a way to do both, or to leave it in the same location and sort of also have a way to have it be a egress window, or?
Well, I mean, right now I don't know the size of the window just visually, but that could be a center casement with a peaked top with two side fixed windows, maybe in the same configuration, if the area works. It's just it's a nice detail right now. It would be a shame to lose it. That's my suggestion or consideration for you.
Okay, so like look for a window that is similar in shape, essentially.
Right. And right now, just thinking about it, just having a center casement with two fixed sides would be a solution.
Yeah. So I am currently looking on the street and some of the nearby housing. I think we are the only one with that. I think everybody else has just like a regular rectangular window. Actually, all the nearby properties on the entire street, I think, have just like regular rectangular windows.
Okay, that makes yours even better, more special.
Yeah, I'm just not sure we can, well, again, I haven't looked into it, but I wasn't sure we would procure something that's like exact same shape, because I feel like this is sort of like an older style. So I don't know how, like, if we can even find a window like that and then, to have it be the egress one. So yeah, I definitely would hope that we could get it approved with, the standard window, just like everybody else. But obviously, we could look into that and see if it's possible.
Okay.
All right, Carol, you had a few comments, questions?
Yeah, just kind of similar to what David said. That's a really nice, outstanding window, and I understand, the safety element of wanting egress there. That it is such a nice window. Perhaps you could consider using it somewhere else on your project as sort of a really nice feature window someplace. Yeah, it'd be a shame to lose it, or even if you don't work it into this project, hang on to it for some future project, because you wouldn't want to let that one get away. My only other comment is about the area under your new deck, if that could be closed off with some sort of lattice or other decorative element that's compatible with the style of the house, so we don't just have a blank void under there. That's my only other comment.
Yeah, I think we can definitely do that. And just have it, be covered up on the two sides.
Right, and then my question was related to the concrete, exposed concrete. Are you planning on any finish on that? I'm not sure what the existing foundation looks like. Is it painted or parged?
Yes, the existing concrete will be painted.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, I think we can make a motion for the lattice work infill under the deck and the option on the window. And a note about the paint. That sounds good to you guys. With that, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 16 Hamel with the understanding that the exposed concrete will be painted, that the area under the new deck will be enclosed, and there are options for the existing front window in the gable to have a new egress window that matches or is similar to the configuration of the existing window, and also an option that that existing window can be reutilized elsewhere in the project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, Ray and Michael, you approved as noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, we'll have Tracy come back. Next, we have 118 West Jackson Road. Anyone here for that?
Well, my name is Andrew with Lakeside Renovation.
And-
I'm standing in substitution for Dan Carey, the one that originally submitted the plans.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. Well, I know we have revised plans. That's what we're looking at.
There should be a shed roof over the gabled roof.
So who would like to start with questions?
Yeah, I thought it was improvement for the front elevation with this roof line design, just so that there's not that weird. angle.
Which is peak in the front.
Yeah, so I did appreciate that change.
I think one thing that many of us had commented on is that the side elevations seem sort of out of sync, out of character with many of the existing features and characters of the house, as well as just the general neighborhood. There's larger expanses of room siding and just larger windows as well. So it sort of seems like if you were to find a way to either use more windows or more detailing or break up the larger window with the smaller ones, it would be beneficial for the interior experience as well as the outside. And we also spent some time on your looking at the roof line here on these side elevations. A quarter inch per foot is a flat roof.
Yes.
And it's there are maintenance issues that come along with that, roofing type issues that come along with that, or you can be very careful of which roofing selection you make. But also there's a character that sort of lacks some detail, and the existing structure that's being removed, for example, is a really nice detail. The frames kind of breaks down the facade of that elevation a little bit. I think some additional roof detailing, siding detailing, and maybe even exploring a steeper pitch on the roof might make the house a little taller, but it would solve some of those maintenance issues and bring it more into
Yeah,
the
for
character.
sure. You know, for asphalt shingles, we need at least a 312 pitch in order for it really to be guaranteed or warranted by any manufacturer. But the reason why we did that would be an issue is that if we have to have that top plate at 19.9 in order for us to put the golf simulator in the back. And so if we kept that there and did a 312 pitch, it would make the height of that just super tall and very awkward. So we didn't think that would fit with the houses in the neighborhoods. That's why we decided on a 1/4 inch pitch. And having the gabled roof, that was another option, but then now have that witch's peak in the front as well. So it's kind of like a catch-22. We can get some nice detail if we do a gabled or something, but then you're going to be seeing that from the front.
Yeah, if that's a minimum height for the golf simulator, it almost seems like some combination of other roof features to get the height and you're forcing the whole height of the roof at that point, right? It's not just
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I think if you were to consider, maybe it doesn't have to be that you keep the pitch as is, and just build it higher, it can be broken down in other ways. I think that would really help it fit into the character
Okay.
that it lives in.
Gotcha. And as far as the blankness on, if you look at the left side elevation, the reason why it's so blank on that side is because of the golf simulator. We can't have any windows on that side. We can definitely play with the sizing of the windows, making them maybe a little bit more proportionate with what's existing. But as far as either way, even if we turn and so forth, there's going to be a large area of just siding because of the golf simulator. That makes sense.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be windows, it could be other details, trim boards,
Okay.
siding type, those types of things.
Okay.
Just to give it more character and to kind of break down the scale.
I would almost consider, the prior elevations, you kept the rake board of the gable end. I'd almost consider keeping that again, even though you improved what's past it.
So keeping the kind of like existing phantom, the roof of what's existing to
Right.
break up some of that siding.
Right.
Okay.
Just because if that goes away entirely, then you have windows all over.
And it's just siding and bare.
With,
Yeah,
um,
completely understand. Yeah.
And also I know that the addition has a 3-foot projection on one side because you want the area.
Yes.
I would almost, rather than having that really slight double pitch there, you would almost just consider taking that up at the same plane to a gravel edge and not worry about that little small triangle that's
kind of awkward.
and it's gonna get snow in there and ice and break up and and then my last comment was I get that you're adding double hung windows, the gang double hung windows, because you want more daylight in there.
Yeah.
But I would look towards the front elevation of the existing double hungs where they have a
divider, a
mullion with
between the two.
like a 6-inch 1x6 cap board to make it more traditional look than just ganging two replacement windows together.
Yeah, I agree with the comments that have been made so far with Jason and David. I think it'll be especially important on your side elevations where the existing gable currently comes downward from the ridge down. If you were to just maintain that ridge line, it would make those existing windows that are sort of various sizes and head heights, that would make those look coherent.
Gotcha.
To remove that, like the previous comment, like David was saying, it makes everything look kind of haphazard.
Mhm.
So I think it would be really important and help your elevations a lot to maintain that.
Mhm.
And then also too, I think on the rear elevation, the 3 punched windows on the second floor were much more in keeping with the character of the existing house.
Mhm.
Did you, is there a particular reason you decided to gang those together?
Mostly for more sunlight and so forth, but we're willing to work with the client to see what we can to maybe adjust it to see if we can make it look a little bit more uniform to the front.
Yeah, I think that would be nice. And, even if you do kind of break up the windows and have the 3 punched openings, it's still the same amount of glass.
Mhm.
And maybe exploring, like David was saying, doing like a wider mull in between them. So the character of the house is more consistent on all of the elevations.
Now, would you all be okay if the windows were maybe not as centered, but if it was shifted over? If there's a blank spot for that golf simulator, if we kept the characters of the windows with the mullions but shifted it over, it's not centered like it currently is?
I think that's one of those things that, you would need to work out with your client and with the drawings and decide what y'all feel would work for you and what addresses the comment, and then we could take a look at it.
Okay, sounds good.
I mean, I think there's some options on the windows,
Mhm.
you know. If you want to keep them together and just mold them, or if you want to separate them a bit, I think there's a lot of, there's some options in there, and I think that would be an improvement. And then just listening to my fellow board members, I think the idea that, keeping that
The
those-
original.
that gable is, I think that does a lot for how the house, maintains the character and scale.
Mhm.
But you could also even consider a band board, that's introduced at that same height,
Mhm.
just as a way to tie them in. And then the thought of that Jason was maybe talking about the pitch roof, you wouldn't even, I mean, it might be helpful just to raise it a bit. 1/4 inch per foot's, that's pretty shallow. So
You could do half.
even if you could get a 1/2 inch, it would be, you'd have a better draining roof, right? We've all been on 1/4 inch per foot slope roofs, especially wood construction.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's a little, so, I think that was maybe what you were suggesting too. Just, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a lot, but just enough, I think, to maybe improve the,
A 1/2 inch would definitely, I think.
something that, you guys think is,
We just didn't want to make it the roof so high that.
Yeah.
Backward, but I think a 1/2 inch is a good compromise, yeah.
right, something that's a little bit better long-term for, especially for residential construction. But those were my,
Just one last thought on the windows there too. I know the golf simulator is kind of driving the window locations now, but it may not be a golf simulator in 5 years. And think about help the homeowners think about the longevity of the space as well.
Mhm.
Blackout shades work really well. I've done a lot of golf simulators actually.
Mhm.
Might be nice if that becomes a bedroom or an office or something.
Facing window casings, I guess, or whatever that.
Yeah.
Windows, so that if
That's
we decide not to have a golf simulator, but we're planning long term, or, that's
Good.
a big part of our thing, but we have a contingency to have those.
That's great.
Yeah, good thinking.
Yeah. I think we all have sketches up here if you want to take them with you.
Oh, love that.
all right. So I think just a few of those revisions, probably we would just table it.
Okay.
And let you guys decide together
Mhm.
what works for you guys.
Mhm.
And you're happy with, if those make sense, and we could review it when it's revised.
Okay. So we'd be back here next month, or would it be reviewed via email or so forth?
You could make the next agenda January 8th, I believe. Yeah. But we would need your revisions by early next week at the latest.
And I don't know if you're aware, but we do record these sessions, so if you wanted to look us back up on YouTube, you
Oh.
could, go back through your notes or something,
Okay,
as a
perfect.
reminder.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have any further questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night. Thank you. All right, so last on our list this evening is 739 Hurst Green Road preliminary.
Hello. I'm Justin. This is my wife Samantha.
Okay, Justin, Samantha. This is preliminary and sometimes we'll give comments and consider even voting, but since this one's still subject to a zoning approval,
Sure.
that won't be an option tonight, but we do have some comments for you.
Okay.
So we'll just move around the room. We can start whichever side, but Carol, if you.
Yeah, I think there's some items that might just be some drafting,
I did hear you on that. Yes, the trim around the doors and windows will all match. I will bring that up to the architect to make sure that it is drawn in there
Right.
consistently. Yes, definitely. Yes, on the back and the front. Yes.
Great.
I made a note of that to follow up with him to get those adjusted. Yes.
Good, and then, yeah, that one column that's on the front that's a little.
On the front there.
Noted, he just hasn't, yes. he
Yes,
will.
and then same with, I heard you on the back column. I suggested remove the one from the window and the middle one, add that as a longer load bearing and just have the corner one there. So we have better view from that covered porch, and the sunroom it has a clean shot out of that window as well.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yes, that's definitely.
Yeah.
A valid point there.
Yeah, that comes without the blank siding on the side walls, just in order.
Microphone.
Oh,
Sorry.
Quiet.
You're
Thank
good.
you, thank you. Yeah, she's usually not that quiet. Yeah, the side elevations, they're really, really blank. And, just to be consistent with the neighborhood and a more consistent detailing around the perimeter of your house, if you could add like maybe some horizontal trim boards at the bottom of those gables. And then, I think it'll help too, once you get all your window trim placed and such. And then looking on the interiors of your spaces, you've got some, really nice sized bedrooms there. So, adding windows on the side elevations, like in your bedroom 1 and 2, and then also maybe another small one in your master bath, and then a side window on your master bedroom. That'll make those spaces a lot prettier and have more light available on the inside. And I think that it would really help improve your elevations. And it's a beautiful house. And I think that those things would just really help enhance your experience with it over the years.
Yeah.
Especially, it's always so nice to have views in a couple of different directions, especially out of your primary bedroom.
Yes, we do plan on, if you look in the master bath, I asked for a window matching on the other side of that shower. So there'll be a secondary window in there. The bedroom 1 and the bedroom 2, the issue is just when you get to furniture laying out and those types of items, we put the 2 very large windows facing out on the front and the back for that. And we're just struggling with, once we do that, then you just have very limited space for beds, dressers, those types of items when we start adding windows on the side there. So we could definitely do trim boards breaking up and things like that, but we're just struggling with, if we add windows on that wall too, then we have very few space for furniture.
Well, like right here, if you can see this, like right here where your closet doors are
Mhm.
opening, you're not going to have furniture where that closet door is opening.
Mhm.
So, that would be an ideal location to have a window there. You wouldn't have furniture that would be occupying that space. And most of the time the closet door is going to be closed. So you would, have the light from that window. So that wouldn't interfere with your amount of furniture.
So a potentially very tiny window.
It can be,
3 foot.
Yeah.
yeah, just you know, you can kind of work with it. It doesn't have to be huge, but I think some nicely placed windows and trim boards and would help make those side elevations a lot more appealing.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and then on the rear elevation, is there a particular reason that the hip roof is so low slope?
Yeah, so the house was originally drawn for a two-story living room or great room. We didn't want that. We wanted the coziness of a single-story great room, but we left that as bonus space in the future. And if we ever wanted to add windows, then it would not be obstructing if we were ever in the future to finish out that space. So they kept the pitch lower, and kind of like the previous person said there, we plan to have them basically rough frame out where if we ever were to want windows in the future there, we could do it without having to change the pitch and redo the whole ceiling of the covered port or the sunroom on that space.
Okay, maybe you can, you know, that's once again, good forward thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe you could bring that pitch up a little bit
Mhm.
and then when you do, if you were to put in windows, just have the be like a pair
Higher
of you know, shorter windows, and they could, you know, be wider so you could still get some good light. But I
Okay.
think bringing up that pitch for now would help the composition of the back and would kind of fill in that siding area a little bit. So you could kind of, you know, compromise
Yeah.
on that
Yes.
roof
Space.
pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think because, you know, you may or may not put those, you know, that in the future.
Mhm.
So, you know, long-term, how are you going to like the look of the back if you go,
Mhm.
dang, we didn't
Yes.
get those windows and, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, is there a reason you didn't put chases around the chimney?
I mean, if I'm being honest, they're not front elevation facing, and just the cost in it. We're trying to be conscious of building costs are very expensive right now.
Oh,
For
yeah.
brick and
So,
stone,
we're-
because we have designed homes with those things and we really like that. So yeah, we were.
So we're trying to find
Yeah.
where to use the
And
money and where
many
not.
colonial homes with kind of a shake shingle or brown roofs didn't have it either, and that's kind of the look we're going, that the roof blends in with the trees and the white. So yeah, we just kept it more simple.
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
budget.
Even something to consider would be just, you can do like a wood sided chase rather than doing a expensive brick or stone,
Mhm.
just to avoid having that metal pipe sticking out.
Okay.
So,
Tracy?
I think we hit some of my comments. Another one that I had was just the pitch of the roof. It looks like it's really tall.
I
especially-
don't know if we don't plan on finishing out a third
Yeah,
floor of this.
okay.
We don't need any more square
Big
footage.
volume up there.
I can follow up with the architect and see if
Yeah.
there's any specific
The
reason.
angle, yeah, I don't know.
I am open to that as long as there's no reason that he did that. on.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, shallower roof, less surface area
Yeah.
for roofing, so cut some costs there. And
If it lowers the general front elevation view on that, that's great. Yes.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I think that'll be, because you've got some smaller homes in the neighborhood, and this will
mhm.
be
Yeah, there's a blend of all.
very
Yes.
large.
Jason?
Well, I was just gonna really, we talked about the side elevations and those are the things that jumped out to me as well. Just in like, they were kind of in need of some attention, both the internal spaces and the siding. So I'll just say I completely agree with everything that's been shared so far.
Thank you.
I'd be really happy with the way it lands if you did get some more interest in those facades.
Okay.
And then this is a small thing, I didn't actually mention it earlier, but this could be a drafting thing too, but on the side elevation here on A300, this one here, there's a
Mhm.
window that looks like it's right at that roof.
I think that's wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's supposed to be a higher window. Basically underneath it's kind of a dresser height built in there. So that should be above that roof pitch. So
Just give yourself,
Yes.
because you'll get.
as much as you want to look at the top of a, yeah. Yes. Thank you.
This is another small thing, to think about, it's kind of similar vein, we would have some radii on the walks from the drive to the front door.
Okay, yes.
But a 90-degree, as you pull into the garage, the two-car garage, You may want to rate.
That's a preliminary. Yeah, I agree on that. That needs to be eased or that corner is going to be broken and cut over, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
This right here. Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Or
Yeah,
flat-
that like, that's the
flat tire.
first one. Yes, it's already, I mean, it's a little tight on that turn, so that would definitely be, yes, I agree.
I think the only thing I'm gonna add is, I agree on the side elevations too. I think it'll be a great experience with some windows from the inside and out, but, it looks like that roof can be scaled down, just
Mhm.
sketching on it.
Yes.
Which would, I think, it's a really nicely designed house from the front. And I think that would help bring it, I think, together
Thank you.
on the sides and keep the scale.
Mhm.
And just to share, I understand the chimney surrounds issue. There are metal surrounds that go on top of those too. So in the
Mhm.
future, if you wanted to look into that.
Okay,
I've done that on some houses too.
sure.
So that was just throwing that out there as a
Thank you.
suggestion.
Yes.
It's not on the, front of the house, so I get it. But that was it. So,
Yeah, I had one comment. I'm looking at all the windows and you have 2/2 lights and you have grills on the side windows, but you have a three vertical divisions on the French doors opening to, and I was wondering if you'd get more cohesiveness with.
Most definitely. We talked about
Draft.
a drafting item there. If you look at the windows on the first floor front elevation, that is the pane style we want to go with that matches that style of home. So we will request him to draft them all.
Okay.
Aesthetically, they look
Awesome.
the same.
Thank you. That's all I had. And the rest of it was just drafting stuff,
Yeah. Yes.
okay, great. Well, it is preliminary. We are going to postpone any voting.
Okay.
Pick up the comments and I guess, in time for the next one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Have a good night. Thank you both. With that,
Can I say a couple things?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So. I guess I need to know your process, because from what I understand is that I was supposed to go to zoning to get approval before I spend a bunch of money on drawings. And now we're questioning the zoning. I'm a little confused. Can you tell me exactly what your process is? So next time I can come in here and
That will be part of zoning through the Planning and Development Office. It won't be part of the Architecture Review Board's review. And I think that's probably a conversation we should have.
well, I know, but
Yeah,
I already got the approval.
understood. And
So
apologies.
why is it even in question here?
I don't know that it necessarily will be, but it's something we'll have to review and talk about.
Okay, so tell me, so what's the process so that's what I'm asking. So what is the process? So when I come back January 8th, what do I need to do or have in place so get voted? Go ahead.
We're going to review the project and then reach out and discuss with you the findings. And that'll happen very shortly, maybe tomorrow.
Right, because I gotta get into I gotta get in the 8th.
Yep, understood.
I can't push the
Understood.
project back another
Yep,
month and a half or month or whatever.
yep.
So what do I need to do? You're gonna call me back when?
You don't do anything yet. Wait till I talk to you
When is that?
tomorrow.
You're gonna talk to me tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
okay? And you're gonna talk to me tomorrow about
The next steps.
the next steps,
Mhm.
okay?
I can't tell you what that is yet.
Okay, so say the next step. So when do I have to have my plans turned in for the 8th? Or to get into the 8th?
For the next one, early next week, potentially.
And you'll have
Well,
all,
We'll work with you though. We understand
Right.
what's going on here.
yeah,
So
I just wish I would have
we're
known this. And I would have had all this prepared for you guys.
Yep, yep.
So, anything else? Yeah.
We're going to do as much as we can to help it along, sir.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Chair, can I add something?
Sure.
Please, thanks. I just want to say, I'm Jamie, I'm
Okay.
on council. Sorry for the frustration.
Yeah.
Just people are just doing the best that they can to get things right. It's not always gonna go right.
Right.
So I understand your frustration. I have been sitting out there
Right.
and hoping to get a project approved as well, so I understand. So I just thank you for your patience, and I'm glad that you asked for clarification, and thank you to the board here for doing what you guys do. And yeah, we'll just apologies, and hopefully you'll get your answers soon.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Thanks.
Now, about the windows and the trim, are you gonna line item that out of what you want, or where, how do you want your windows? How do you want your trim detail? You just want me to get a trim detail from the house? Well, you just want a couple windows on the second, or are you guys gonna mark up a drawing of what you want? Cause I don't wanna come back in here, it's like, well, we want the windows, over here.
Yeah, so I think the suggestion was that all the front looks great.
Mhm.
The sides and the back are lacking some of the same character as the house in the front.
Mhm.
So the suggestion was if you could add some windows on the side and the back, a trim board, something
Mhm.
around the windows that was consistent with what's on the front of your garage.
Mhm.
So, there's a lot of options within there.
Right.
But I think in general, I don't, we're not telling you where to put your windows and how to put them. We're making suggestions.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, all right, I say, well, I don't want windows in the back. So then what?
Right.
So I come here and I say,
Right.
I don't want windows in the back. So then what happens?
Right. So,
Yeah,
So-
then we look at your new design and, maybe it's okay because you've got added, more character on the sides and kind of balance that.
yeah, and there's a trim board or something. So I think that's why this is what we discussed with, the same for every project by itself in its own context. So that's what we saw on your project that were suggestions.
Right. So some side windows.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it makes sense that, if you don't want windows on the back because that whole wall is going to be a workbench or whatever, you might put transom windows up high that's out of the way of all your tools just to let light in,
You do have height there.
Oh, are you talking about the first floor?
Yeah.
You're talking about okay, yeah, I can't have windows back there. I need that
Right.
space. So,
Yeah.
So, and this whole meeting's on YouTube, so your architect
Yeah.
can review it
all right,
and,
okay,
and get what we said and take cues from that.
gotcha, okay.
Yeah, I think I mean, we often will sketch ideas sitting up here, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure what,
I just want to come here one more time and be done.
what you're thinking about where you might want to put some windows, but it looks like to me the north elevation and the south elevation could definitely, there's some spots where they would be nice on the exterior and the inside as well, is kind of what I saw when I looked at it,
Mhm.
just my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I think what you're hearing from the group up here too, just say maybe a different way, is that we're not gonna be prescriptive to you, like you have to do this and you have to put a trim board or change the siding type up above this. That's really not our role. We're trying to just help you keep the character of the neighborhood and the house together. So we're not trying to be confusing to you, but we're also just trying not to say that these are the three things you gotta do and then that's it.
Right.
You have a lot more options.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like this line item, like this is what, do this, this,
Yeah.
and this, here's your goal, right? So,
I think, said it really, really well. The front of it looks really great.
Right.
Just take some of the cues from that and bring it around.
yeah, okay, great. Okay, thanks. Call me tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
I'll be expecting.
Mhm.
Great night. You guys all have happy holidays.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Bet. All right, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all.